Welcome to this YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to talk about the offset function. Offset function. I was requested by one of the viewers to look at the offset function. What does it do and how can we use it? That's what we're going to look at. In the meantime, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. So let's start off by understanding what the off function is. So assuming I want to get this value here, the offset function, if I type offset, it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arguments. The first argument is, where do I want to start? I want to start here, the reference of where am I going to start. Remember, my objective is to get to this value, 37,000. So I'm starting, this is my reference. I start here, comma. The next argument is the number of rows. If I start here and I want to get to 37,000, how many rows down must I move? I move 1, 2, 3, 4. So I put 4. The next argument is the columns. So if I move 4, I'm here. See, how many columns should I move? Since I have to remain in the same column, I put 0. If I wanted to move to this column, I would put 1. And if I wanted to move to the left, I would put -1. For example, let me first put -1. You see, -1 takes me to the left. But I want this 37, so I remain in the same column, I put 0. So at the bare minimum, those are the mandatory or required arguments. The reference, where you start, you want to move how many rows, you want to move how many columns. Then the height, if you have reached here, what height do you want? +1 will keep you here. If you say height of 2, it will select this and this cell, because these are 2. Height of 3, to select these 3. Then width, how many cells do you want to move? So if it is 1, if I put 1, it means I remain in this cell, and then my width is also 1. So I get 37,000. So in other words, the offset function returns a value in a cell after we have given it a starting point, how many rows it moves down, and how many columns, the height and the width. In short, that's what the offset function does. For further, another example, I can say offset. I'm starting here, assuming I want to go to 70,000. How many, if I start here, how many rows do I move? 1, 2, 3. I put a 3. How many columns? I don't want to move any column. I want to remain in this one. So it is 0, like so. And I get to 70,000. If I want to get letter C here, and I've started here, I'll still say offset. Where am I starting? I'm starting from C1. If my objective is to go to this letter C, I need to move down. How many steps? 1, 2, 3. Those are the rows. Move down 3. Now, the columns, how many? 1, but 1 in the negative. Positive is this side, negative is this side. So I say -1. There you go. So I get into my C. So that is how the offset function works. If I want letter A, I'll say offset. I'm starting here. I want to go to A. How many rows down? I'll go 1. And how many columns in the negative? I'll go -1. Then I get my A. So that's how the offset function works. So now, having understood the offset function, now let's see how we can use it in our calculations. Now we have data here, it has names and cells. And our objective is to get the sum of the last 3. So my objective is to get the sum of the last 3. Simple. I'll say sum, go to these 3, like so, get 186. Next time, if I come here, this is G, the next month, then I get another value here. And my question is last 3 months. You see, it still calculates this, but excludes this and doesn't give me the right answer. So if you want to make this formula dynamic, such that each time I add data down here, my calculation will always be the sum of the last 3 months. That is where the offset function could be used. So let's see how to go about it. Now, first, we're going to say offset. We are starting from D1. Now, I want to go down a number of cells. I want always to calculate the last 3, the value of the last 3 names, the sum of the last 3 names. So, how do I get to these last 3? I can use the count. And what does the count do? It is going to count for me all the values here. Okay? So assuming I include this, so it is going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I say offset D1 count, it is going to take me to position 8. In other words, to be at the 46,000. But my objective is to get the sum of the last 3 figures. So if I reach the 46, I need to go backwards 2 positions. In other words, if I go backwards, those are negatives. If I'm here and I go this side, that is positive. So I need to go back 1 position, 2 position, then I start calculating from 64,000, then 40 and 46. So I'll say -2. Columns, I want to remain in the same column. So let's first see what this one gives us. This one gives us 64. How does it get the 64? I say reference D1, start from D1 and count the values here. Now when it counts, we saw it counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this count gives me 8, which is this. Now when it gives me 8, I want to add from here. So I go back 2 times, 8 minus 2, so that I come to the 64. So I get to the 64. So I'm here, and my column is not changing. Now, when I'm in this position, the next question is, if I'm at this 64, the height of the numbers I'm going to add. So if I'm at 64, the height should be 1, 2, 3. And the width, the minimum is always 1 cell, 1. So if I do that, I get value, but this is It's giving me a range. It is picking all these three values and putting them in one cell, but because it is not possible, it shows this. But our objective is not to get the offset, our objective is to get the sum. So we shall wrap this with sum. Like this, go sum of that range. So I get 150. Can we check whether we have got it right? Say sum of these last three is 150. Let me repeat for clarity. Number one, we need to get to this last cell. How do we get to that last cell? We get to that last cell using the offset function. The offset function requires a reference. Where are we starting? We are starting from this position. And if we start from this position and we want to go to the last cell, the easiest way to get the position of the last cell is to count these values, because this is one, position 2, position 3, and so on. So if we do a count of these values, they are gonna give us the position of the last value. Then the column, we are staying in the same column, so it is, we're not moving column-wise. So you can see it gives me the last value here. But I'm not interested in the last value. I want to go and start adding from this. So I want to add the last three figures. I want to go backwards 2 positions. If I'm at the last value, I need to go 1, 2. So this figure I've got, I need to subtract 2 minus 2, then I'll go to 64, like so. So you can see I go to 64. Now, if I'm at 64, what height do I need? I need a height of 3 values, 1, 2, 3. These are the values I want to add. And what width? Width is 1. So that's how we did this. We come here, say offset, D1, we are starting from here. We count the values. This count will take us to the last figure, but we want to add from 64 because we want the last 3. So if I get here, when I count, I'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I minus 2, I'll go to 6. So I'll go to 64. Now, if I'm at 64, those are the rows. In other words, I'm starting here, I want to go to 64, that is row 6. Then columns, I don't want to move. Then the height, I want to count sum 3 figures. So if I'm at 64, I want to sum these 3. That's why I put the height as 3 and the width as 1, because I'm staying in the same cell. So that is how you get the sum of the last 3 digits. And remember, when I did my offset, I pulled down this to exceed this limit here, so that in the next month, if I come here and I put another letter here and a value here, you see my figure changes. Have we got it right? We can check by doing so. This is the sum of the last 3, which is here. If I put another figure here, without changing this formula, I'll still get the sum of the last 3 figures, like so. Assuming this is 54,000. You see, I still get the sum of the last 3, which is here, which is 120. So by using the offset, I'm able to make the sum formula dynamic, so that even if I add values here, I don't need to come and change my formula, because it is dynamic, and the dynamism is enabled by using the offset formula. And that is achieved through this count. so that each time you add, it counts, then it goes back 2, then it selects the 3, and in the process, it's able to add the last 3 figures that we are interested in. That's the offset formula. If you're interested in other videos, please give me comments, and then I'll look at them. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.